Gymboree Play Music is the global leader of interactive classes from newborns to 5 years. Our classes are parent involvement that focuses on children's motor development, social, and cognitive development.
What we focus on is helping the parent and child learn and grow together here at Gymboree. So as the child grows and experiences our classes, the parents can see the changes they're going through and learn how to help them grow and develop even better at home by practicing those same skills. We often give them some tips about things they can practice at home and what to expect from their little one coming up.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker is Stuart Ford, Director of Franchise Development for Gymboree Play and Music, who focuses on the international business and overall network.
The activity that we did earlier
Been involved with Gymboree in a variety of roles since 2004 and has developed new Gymboree operations in more than a dozen new countries in a time. Prior to Gymboree, Mr. Ford was CEO of Infitudes Incorporation, a development company focused on international opportunities in emerging markets, and has held a range of senior roles for Ford Motor Company, Optus Communications, Carlson Marketing Group, and Price Waterhouse. As Sophia said earlier, Mr. Ford has flown in, especially from San Francisco, to be here with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted to invite Mr. Stuart Ford to the stage to tell us more about Gymboree.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is both an honor and somewhat humbling to be here as a representative of Gymboree Play Music to witness the opening of our first location in Pakistan. We are incredibly lucky to have found such a wonderful partner in Sophia, her team, and the Beacon House Group. It's been a long journey. Gymboree did begin 35 years ago, based on a very simple pretext that children learn best through play. It doesn't matter about culture, language, country. It is about play is the way children learn best. Our founder, Joan Barnes, was a housewife in San Francisco, and she was indeed looking for somewhere to take her child where she could play, learn from her child, teach her child, and experience that incredible bond between parent and child with other parents. She looked high and low, but she could not find anywhere that met that need. So being of an entrepreneurial mind, she opened her first location, and Gymboree Play Music was born. The first location was in Marin County, San Francisco, and was a huge success. One of our early customers was a gentleman called Stuart, who subsequently became our chairman. Stuart was an entrepreneur, a visionary, a famous retailer, and he was a venture capitalist before venture capital was invented. He said to Joan, Joan, we so enjoy our time of playing music. It's so important to our family. It's such a great idea that you should franchise it. And franchise she did. In 1978, Gymboree Play Music began its franchising program. I had the great honor 2 years ago, in fact, of celebrating and commiserating the retirement of franchisee number 6 and franchisee number 7 from that period, who've been in our network for over 34 years. And from that humble base, Gymboree has continued to grow. It expands to this day. We opened locations this year in Eastern Europe, in Moscow, Russia, in Krakow, in Poland. We're extending further into the Middle East. We opened just recently in Saudi Arabia. We had a planned opening in about 2 weeks in Cairo. That we may have to delay. We'll see how things go. We are extending our reach into Europe, opening in Rome, and today we are here. And people often say, but Gymboree, you have stores. Yes, we do. From that origin, from that focus on child, about 10 years into our development, someone said, wouldn't it be a great idea if we could have apparel, we could sell clothes to children that had the same values, the same consistency, and the same glory as the Gymboree Play Music program. And Gymboree Retail was born. Gymboree Retail has 700 stores in US, Canada, Puerto Rico, and has recently expanded into Dubai, and pleasing to me, of course, Sydney, Australia. And again, we wanted to stretch further, so we established another retail brand, Janie and Jack. Janie and Jack being our very upmarket, high-end retail. Lots of detail, European-inspired, very fine tailoring. There are now about 130 stores of Janie and Jack around the world. And it's fascinating to me as I travel and I open glossy magazines and I see celebrities and socialites, and often their children are dressed in Janie and Jack. I won't name which ones, but some of them are regular shoppers. Again, our ambition was always to reach every mother, so we expanded with another retail brand, Gymboree Outlet, offering less detailed clothes and more value pricing. And recently we have launched our new baby, Crazy 8, recognizing that moms are busy 8 days a week. It's a value brand with a high-end retail experience where moms are valued and they can shop in comfort. So Gymboree started with playing music. It's grown around the world. It's had in retail. It is now a corporation capitalized at $1.8 billion US, with operations in almost 40 countries in total. But today we're here to talk about playing music. And playing music is a passion. And I'll tell you my personal experience with playing music. About probably 8 years ago, I'd sold some businesses. I've been franchising for a very long time. And I elected to retire, to spend my life at leisure, or leisure, as they say in America. And I happened to randomly meet someone from Gymboree playing music, and impressed by their passion, inspired by what they do, and working for a business that is a for-profit business but that has social impact, which is so important. They tempted me back out of retirement. It is the most inconvenient job. I work in San Francisco, I live in Los Angeles, and I spend the bulk of my time on the road. But I do it, they pay me, but I love playing music, I love what we do. Now, playing music is focused on both child and parent. The parent involvement is critical. Most of our parents are highly educated, very well read, very sophisticated, and well aware of their child's needs. However, it is different to understand the concept of gross motor planning, for example, and to see it at work. It's fascinating to watch a mother in a Gymboree play music class see her child hesitate. While all the other children are doing activities, they hesitate and to watch. And a good Gymboree teacher will walk across and say, "Hey Mom, you know we talked about the concept of gross motor planning? Watch the way your child is looking. That child is planning how to go up the balance beam, to climb the frame, to get the ball, to return to the rainbow barrel and enjoy the reward. And when the child does it, it is a glory to watch. It really is an aha moment for that parent. They've seen that activity at work." As I travel around the world, I talk to many Gymboree moms, and that is the way they identify themselves. Gymboree is a way of looking at the world, and they call themselves Gymboree moms. Are you a Gymboree mom? I'm a Gymboree mom. And they tell me that they are increasingly mobile, global. And as they move around the world, as they move from city to city, as they move from land to land, one of the first things they look for is Gymboree playing music. Because when they find the playing music, it anchors their family. It gives purpose and it gives them an environment to re-engage with that child. This world is increasingly crazy, but Gymboree is that sanctuary. It's that place where parent and child can bond on a time focused only on them and for their benefit. You'll see on the banners in the building, we talk about creativity, confidence, friendship, connection. That's what we want to create, an environment where a child feels free to create, is confident and willing to explore, makes friendships and becomes connected to other people. Not only does that happen to the child, it happens with the Gymboree parent too. That is what the parents start to develop, is this network of like-minded parents that think like them, feel like them, and enjoy their child in exactly the same way. We focus really on birth through 5, with particular emphasis on birth through 3. We are very focused on what we do, very dedicated to that area of childhood. It's not unusual, and we talked about the elements of competition and imitation. Imitation is flattery. When we enter a country, it's very common for a lot of people to then imitate or attempt to imitate our offerings. It's difficult for them to sustain. We see this consistently around the world. They don't have the depth or breadth of curriculum research, the consistency, the training tools, the technology, nor the network to keep up with what Gymboree does. Gymboree is constantly evolving. Gymboree is constantly delivering. We're hard at work now, for example, on new programs predicated on Gymboree English. We are learning to integrate, for our parents, technology into this platform. There's now a Gymboree Play Music iPhone application. Yeah, there's an app for that. We're looking at lots more development. Our equipment is not just standard playground equipment. It's designed by a man called Jay Beckwith. And Jay I see frequently in the office. Jay is probably the preeminent child playground designer in the world. That equipment is custom tuned for children of that age, that weight, and that developmental area. It's unique to Gymboree, very proprietary, and it forms these interesting playscapes that vary by age and by lesson rotation. The same setup may, for example, with a younger child, be representative of a garden. At a conceptual level they can understand. They water the flowers grow. The same setup may adapt to the next age group where it becomes a forest, where the wind rattles in the leaves, and little mice, for example, run through the foot growth. And for the older children, that same setup may become a jungle. All these things are themed. All these lesson plans have a purpose. We measure out how many times a lesson plan should be repeated for the learning of the child to get. So yes, I am both proud and passionate to work for Gymboree Play Music. I am proud and extraordinarily passionate that Gymboree Play Music is now here in Pakistan. Congratulations to Sophia, to the team, to Beacon House Network, for Gymboree Play Music, bringing it here and helping us to make it a success. We're very proud. So to close, there is nothing like play music. There will be nothing like play music. We are the global leader. We are the biggest, the longest, but more importantly, we care. Gymboree, despite its size, is intimate. If you ever get the opportunity, if you're in the US, you're ever in any other country, drop into a Gymboree Play Music, drop into the head office, and you'll feel like you're with family. That's the way they are. When I first met them, I was a little suspicious. How can all these people be this nice, this committed, and this dedicated? And they are. And the partners we pick, like Sophia and Beacon House, they have it too. Have a Gymboree day, welcome to Gymboree, and I hope it's a great success for you too. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ford. It was most enlightening to hear about Gymboree from somebody so closely involved with the organization.